Captain Jack Donovan squinted against the morning sun, the salty breeze ruffling his graying hair as he steered the Emily Rose west from the Florida Keys towards the dry Tortugas. This was his favorite part of the trip. Nothing but open ocean, the horizon blending seamlessly with the sky. The Emily Rose was a sturdy vessel, 42 feet of solid fiberglass, built for endurance and comfort, perfect for the multi-day fishing trips he loved to lead. Jack glanced at his crew, a mix of seasoned fishermen and eager newcomers. There was Tom, a burly man in his 50s with a booming laugh, and Lena, a sharp-eyed woman in her 30s who had a knack for spotting fish. Then there were the rookies, Mike and Sarah, both in their 20s and full of enthusiasm, even if they lacked experience. Jack felt a paternal pride as he watched them prepare the gear. The first day went smoothly, with the crew hauling in a decent catch of mutton snapper, grouper, and mackerel. As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in shades of orange and pink, the Emily Rose anchored for the night. They sat around the deck, sharing stories and laughter, the camaraderie warming the cool December air. It was around midnight when things began to change. Jack was on watch, his eyes scanning the dark waters when he noticed a faint glow on the horizon. At first, he thought it might be another fishing boat. But as the light grew closer, he realized it was too large and too bright. The glow intensified, illuminating the silhouette of a massive ship. Jack's heart skipped a beat. It wasn't the size of the ship that unnerved him. It was the fact that it seemed to be from another era. The vessel was a three-masted schooner, its sails full despite the lack of wind. Its wooden hull gleamed eerily in the moonlight, and there was an unsettling silence about it. Jack grabbed his binoculars and focused on the approaching ship. His breath caught in his throat as he saw the crew. They were dressed in old-fashioned sailor garb, breeches, waistcoats, tricorn hats. They moved about the deck in a strangely fluid manner, almost as if they were floating. Jack could see their faces clearly now, and a chill ran down his spine. Their eyes were hollow, their skin pale and translucent. "Tom, Lena, get up here," Jack called, his voice barely steady. The two seasoned fishermen joined him, their faces growing pale as they saw the ghostly ship. "What the hell is that?" Tom muttered, his usual bravado gone. "I don't know," Jack admitted, "but it looks like some creepy thing out of a nightmare." As the schooner drew alongside the Emily Rose, Jack felt a sudden oppressive cold settle over the boat. The air grew thick with the scent of salt and decay. The ghostly crew seemed oblivious to their presence, going about their tasks with eerie precision. Jack could see the name on the ship's bow, the Revenant. Lena shivered. "This isn't right, Jack. We need to get out of here." But as Jack turned to start the engines, a voice called out from the Revenant, "Ahoy there!" The voice was deep and resonant, carrying a strange echo. Jack turned back to see a tall figure standing at the railing, his eyes locked onto Jack's with a piercing intensity. "Ahoy," Jack replied, his voice wavering. "Who are you?" The man smiled, revealing a row of perfect white teeth. "I am Captain Bartholomew Drayton of the Revenant. And who might you be?" "Captain Jack Donovan, of the Emily Rose," Jack replied, trying to keep his voice steady. "What are you doing out here?" Drayton's smile widened. "Fishing. Same as you, I suppose. Though it's been many a year since we've had company." Jack exchanged uneasy glances with Tom and Lena. "How long have you been out here?" Drayton's eyes darkened. "Time has little meaning in these waters, but it feels like an eternity." Before Jack could respond, Sarah and Mike stumbled onto the deck, their faces pale with fear. "What's going on?" Sarah asked, her voice trembling. "We have visitors," Jack said, nodding towards the Revenant. Mike's eyes widened as he took in the ghostly ship. "This is insane." Let's get the hell out of here. Jack nodded. I agree. Captain Drayton, it was interesting meeting you, but we need to be on our way. Drayton's smile faded. I'm afraid I can't allow that, Captain Donovan. Jack's heart pounded. What? Drayton's eyes gleamed with a cold light. You see, we are cursed to roam these waters, never finding rest. And now that we've found you, we can't let you go. Your presence here means that our time may finally come to an end. Jack's mind raced. What do you want from us? Drayton's crew began to move towards the edge of their ship, their hollow eyes fixed on the Emily Rose. We need your souls to break our curse, Drayton said, his voice a chilling whisper. Jack's blood ran cold. This can't be happening! But it was. The ghostly crew started to climb onto the Emily Rose, their movements swift and unnatural. Jack, Tom, Lena, Sarah, and Mike backed away, their fear intensifying. Get below deck, Jack shouted, pushing his crew towards the hatch. We'll barricade ourselves in. They scrambled down the ladder, slamming the hatch shut and bolting it. The sound of ghostly footsteps echoed above them, the oppressive cold seeping through the wood. What do we do now? Sarah whispered, her eyes wide with terror. Perhaps this was a bad idea. I bought us a little time. We have to find a way to get underway and get out of here, Jack said, his mind racing. There has to be something we can do. Lena grabbed a flashlight and shone it around the cabin. Look for anything that might help. A weapon, a signal flare, anything. They searched frantically, their fear driving them to move quickly. Tom found a flare gun and handed it to Jack. This might not do much, but it's better than nothing. Jack nodded, gripping the flare gun tightly. Okay, we need a plan. If we can create a distraction, maybe we can get to the radio and call for help. Mike swallowed hard. And what exactly do we say? That we've been attacked by ghost pirates? Jack met his eyes, the weight of their situation pressing down on him. Then we fight. We fight with everything we've got. Above them, the ghostly footsteps grew louder, the air thickening with a sense of impending doom. Jack took a deep breath, steeling himself for what lay ahead. Stay close, he said, leading the way back up the ladder. And whatever happens, don't give up. They emerged onto the deck to find the ghostly crew waiting for them, their hollow eyes gleaming with malice. Jack raised the flare gun, his hand steady, despite his fear. Stay back, he shouted, firing the flare into the air. The bright light burst above them, momentarily blinding the ghostly sailors. Now, Jack yelled, sprinting towards the radio. Tom and Lena followed, while Sarah and Mike grabbed fishing poles, brandishing them like weapons. Jack reached the radio and frantically began to transmit a distress call. Mayday, Mayday, this is the Emily Rose. We are under attack by an unknown vessel, requesting immediate assistance. There was no response, just static. Jack's heart sank, but he kept trying, hoping against hope that someone would hear him. Meanwhile, Tom and Lena were fending off the ghostly crew, their fishing poles passing through the spectral bodies with little effect. The ghosts advanced, their cold hands reaching out, their hollow eyes fixed on their prey. Sarah and Mike threw everything they could find at the ghostly men, but they were quickly overwhelmed. The ghosts' touch sapped their strength, leaving them weak and defenseless. Jack could see the fear in their eyes, and it tore at his heart. Hold on, he shouted, his voice cracking with desperation. We can't give up. But it was no use. The ghosts closed in, their icy grip tightening. Jack felt his strength ebbing away, the cold seeping into his very soul. He fought to stay conscious, his mind racing with thoughts of his crew, his ship, his life. In that moment of despair, Jack's hand brushed against the locket he always wore around his neck. It was a family heirloom, passed down through generations. Desperation turning to hope, he opened the locket, revealing the small, ancient chart inside. The chart was a curiosity, its origins unknown, but Jack's grandfather had always said it held a special power. With trembling hands, Jack held up the chart, its faded lines illuminated by the moonlight. The ghostly crew paused, their hollow eyes widening in recognition. Captain Drayton's voice echoed through the night, filled with a mix of anger and desperation. "Where did you get that?" "It was my grandfather's," Jack struggled to reply. "He said it had the power to break any curse, but I thought it was just a made-up story." Drayton's eyes darkened. "That chart belongs to us. It was lost long ago, and without it, we have been doomed to aimlessly roam these waters." Jack's mind raced, barely any energy left. "So this is what you need to be free?" Drayton nodded, his expression one of both longing and resignation. "Yes. With that chart, we can finally find our way to the afterlife." Jack held it higher, the ghostly crew drawing closer, their eyes now filled with hope instead of malice. "Then take it," he said, his voice firm, "and leave us be." The chart began to glow, its light growing brighter until it enveloped the Revenant and its crew. Jack watched in awe as the ghostly figures began to dissolve, their forms disintegrating into the light. Drayton's voice echoed one last time, filled with gratitude. "Thank you, Captain Donovan. You have freed us." With a final blinding flash, the light vanished, taking the ghostly crew and the Revenant with it. The Emily Rose rocked gently on the now calm waters, the oppressive cold gone. Jack collapsed to his knees, his breath coming in ragged gasps. Tom, Lena, Sarah, and Mike were beside him, their faces pale, reflecting the shock of the ordeal. They were thankful to be alive. "Did that just happen?" Tom whispered, still in disbelief. Jack nodded, tears of relief streaming down his face. "We made it. No more soul-sucking ghosts. Are you guys okay?" The crew looked at each other with a nod of relief. As dawn broke over the horizon, the Emily Rose sailed its return towards the safety of the Florida Keys, the memory of their encounter with the Revenant forever etched into their minds. They had faced the unknown and survived, agreeing not to share their unbelievable ordeal with anyone, their bond stronger than ever. As they returned to their lives, they each carried with them the knowledge that sometimes the past still has relevance, like the locket thought to be a simple keepsake. And the way to break free from a soul-draining ordeal is often by letting go of the past, no matter how terrifying it may be.